mom and dad. Your mom and dad. Your mom and dad. Your mom and dad.
Well, welcome home, family. It's your mom and dad with Almost Paradise. We're knocking on heaven's door. But this version of Almost Paradise is more like, they've made it more like a DJ version, right? The way that this is looking should be more like Almost Paradise. I can't do it.
Almost Paradise.
That's how this show looks now. That's how this show looks. There's no more cheesy 80s, 90s Almost Paradise energy. It is now The Bachelor has officially attempted to pursue the Love Island energy, the Peacock, the Netflix energy, and they're like, we're going to try to serve this to you all. And I don't know how I feel about it.
It was interesting. I was looking and I was hearing people talk about it a little bit.
Yeah.
And people were
because it was
like,
jarring.
Right. And here's what I'll say. If you haven't been watching other shows, really, I think you're going to be like, whoa, this is awesome. Does that make sense? Like, so, if you're not really watching Love Island, if you're not really watching some of the shows with like really punchy, good edits, you're going to be like, this is awesome, right? Because you're like, it's totally fun and it's got a lot of energy to it. If you're watching the other shows, in my very humble but professional opinion, we just got new editing software and we're going to do everything the software offers.
Right.
It's like, it lacks, in my opinion, like, your subjects aren't reflecting your edits. Does that make sense?
100%.
Like Love Island people, generally punchy, fun,
wild,
big personalities, wild.
You got like Too Hot to Handle with Netflix, where the characters are wild,
exactly.
and it's like, womp, womp,
and they're
womp,
like they're like 22-year-old club goers, and they're just like full of energy and fun and say crazy shit. And so when like the editing kind of matches that energy, where it feels like, you know, when they do their little intros and stuff, it feels genuine. It feels like they wrote it.
Right.
Where this felt a lot more like we're taking 30-year-olds who have been on the show multiple times, a little more tired, and we're trying to like infuse them with like this over the top energy.
Also, Bachelor energy, like the people are just different energy. Like in general, we have the whole, you sit down for long conversations and you talk about your traumatic backstory.
Everyone takes themselves pretty seriously.
And it's one person to 20 and it's an engagement at the end versus a lot of these other shows. You know, obviously there's Love is Blind, but other than that, there's no engagement. It's just like, do you walk away with the money or with the girl or with the guy?
And also everyone in like the Love Island style, they're all like, I'm not ready for a girlfriend yet. That's crazy. That's whereas in this show's like, I want kids next week. So it's a little bit more like you're trying to really youthfully infuse what feels like a much more mature vibe.
But did you notice at the end of this episode, that Jesse Palmer in the preview was like, and now are you going to choose $500,000 or your person? So now it appears, first of all, $500,000. We're talking some serious cash right now.
First of all,
$500,000. I'm like,
now we're talking.
Talking a little bit.
All these shows are always like, and you're going to win after taxes $9,000 after 9 weeks of being on a massive. And you're like, does the money even matter at that point?
I'm pretty sure he said $500,000, and I was like,
if we're talking
damn.
half an M, we're talking like life-changing money where we're like, okay, like I might play some games here.
Are you going to split this with your person, or are you going to take $500,000 and run?
It's
and
really enough to make you go, is this person here for the right reasons?
And I say, hey, everybody, take $500,000 and run, and we get together with that person.
You guys are all hot. You can find someone. Get out of here with this.
Why would you not take the money in this current climate?
So here's what I will say. I love that they're trying new things. It's exciting. It makes me feel like, I don't know what's going to happen next. So that is exciting. So
I appreciate...
Overall positive, but definitely kind of an overreach a little bit.
I appreciate the effort and the energy. Yeah. It is making it like exciting to see the preview of them having a moment where everyone's making out to see who you secretly have more chemistry with. Yes. We're having a little more of those games that Love Island has, which I think will bring a little more chaos to Bachelor in Paradise. I appreciate, just the overall effort of changing the game a bit, making it feel a little more, it feels a little more pricey, feels a little more expensive.
Yes.
Now, here's a couple things. They're in Costa Rica now. Mm-hmm. They're at a beautiful resort, but they haven't decorated it in like a warm way, like how Love Island is all colorful. And it's giving corporate. It's giving, Evan, with the combination of some of these cast members who give major corporate energy with the energy of this resort. It feels like they're there at a conference. They all have their own separate hotel rooms. They're all there at a conference, studying whatever new tech is hitting the sales industry, the medical sales industry. And we're going to see if some of these corporate people are going to hook up over the weekend, the long weekend.
First of all, not a bad idea for a show.
I know.
When you think like corporate.
It's true.
Corporate, what would you call it? Corporate conundrum, and it's like where people they're all at like a conference and they're all, we pick like a real, the real annoying ones, like the sales conference, and everyone's like, yeah, let's go. They do amped up, but then everyone's cheating on each other and stuff. Like, I love the idea of kind of like at a Radisson.
Like that. But that's what it feels like.
No, it's giving kind of just, and there's something too about the old way, where I think when you put people in like uncomfortable living positions, they also act a little unhinged after a couple days. Versus when you have AC and a nice bed, you're a lot more balanced.
We want our cast members to obviously be comfortable at a comfortable heat level.
But it needs to feel campy.
But in the old version, there's no AC. There's bunk beds. There's crabs crawling everywhere.
People are on edge.
It's not healthy.
People are on edge.
But
yes.
I'm fine with. I want the cast members to be able to be taken care of and to be comfortable.
Sure.
But there's something about everyone being in a separate room and just the look of the resort.
Exactly. I want people in bunk beds.
I want people to at least be living together so they're getting to know each other more. Not that you have like your own separate room. I don't know.
I want the the bag that's packed. It's all over the floor, and then someone's mad because like they're making more of a mess. Like
that's what I'd like. It's just the energy that it gave me was like watching this was quite jarring because I wasn't expecting it to be edited and to be looking completely different. It felt like if you had your mom your whole life who looked a certain way, and then one day without you knowing, she went and got major plastic surgery.
And a bob.
She got
and
major,
like, Mom,
she got a major plastic surgery and a bob, and she shows up. She's still your mom, and she still looks like your mom, but she looks still really different.
Yeah.
That's what this whole thing felt like, and it also delivered that to me energy-wise. Energetically, it felt different, and I even wrote down when we were getting to know all the different cast members, I said, these people don't feel like the same people I knew beforehand. Like even in the ITMs, they feel like different people, the personality. So I'm curious.
Dare I say, there's a desperation in the air?
I don't feel that way at all. Really?
Yeah, kind of like okay, I'm just going to say this. There's a feeling I get from a good chunk of them that's like, I don't really want to be back here. But we're here.
But the Insta deals will be too
But the deals,
poppin'.
I'm going to get more followers. They offered me some extra money.
Too poppin'.
I don't really have anything to make me not go.
There's money at the end of this?
But I'm not like excited to be here.
Okay.
Like there's the newcomers. The super newcomers who like aren't big, like the Kyles.
Yeah.
There's the.
I mean, technically, Dale was only on the season for like 2 days.
but it's like there's a couple people that are like really, because like I was there on the show for a day. Right. I haven't been to any of the parties.
Ricky, only did one day.
Ricky, everyone's like, I'm excited to be here. They're giving kind of that energy.
Yeah.
But the like mid to higher level attendance people definitely have a little bit of that like, hey, it's good to see you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they're not coming in like, woo.
But listen, I'm telling you, I genuinely can't tell. I would love to talk to someone after the season is over who was on this to find out if they feel like they were shown more accurately, like a more accurate description of them was this Bachelor in Paradise or their season. Because I'm telling you, almost every single person, I've never felt a season of Bachelor in Paradise. Obviously there are arcs with people and people change and whatever, but everyone felt so different.
It's like a high school reunion and you're like expecting to like kind of jump back in where you left off.
Everyone just energy and not in a bad way.
Right.
It literally was just like, oh, you seem different personality wise than how you came off on The Bachelor, The Bachelorette. So I'm wondering what's going to actually give us a more real picture of who these people are. And I think actually so. Bachelor in Paradise is going to give us a more real, I feel like we're actually getting to know them better versus Bachelor and Bachelorette edit was more this kind of like, here's a certain type of personality who obviously wants to get married versus now this is going to have a little bit of a different
more
energy.
of your party daybed vibes. Also, there's kind of that energy of like when you're presenting yourself amongst 10 of your peers to then be the most desirable to a single person, you're going to act differently than if it's just like a mixed group where you're hanging.
But I'm not talking about that.
You're not talking about that.
I'm not talking about that because we've had that in Bachelor in Paradise for years and years and years. I'm talking about the ITMs.
Interesting.
I'm telling you, like everyone just seemed different. Spencer feels like a totally different guy to me. Alex feels like a totally different woman to me.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying in a bad way, loving both of them, but they just feel totally different than how they felt on their seasons.
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain it. Family, tell me leave in the comments if you're feeling what I'm feeling. Am I reading too much into this? Anyways, I want to get into this. But first we got to take a quick pause. So family, this Bachelor in Paradise cast really came into this season with the perfect fits, the nails, spray tans, saying they were hitting the gym every day, the accessories, and of course, the hair. But I gotta let you know, BIP fam, hot days, humid nights, and nonstop plans, which you are all experiencing, all that heat can increase hair shedding, while a packed schedule can add stress, which can impact your hair. Well, no fear, because Nutrafol's whole body approach and clinically tested formulas support your hair from within so you can focus on living your best life all summer long. You all know Nutrafol changed the game for me. For years, I had good friends and some family raving about the results from Nutrafol. So over a year ago, I decided to try it out for myself, and my gosh, I could not be happier with my Nutrafol results. My hair has grown so much. It is thicker. There's way less shedding. It's shinier. It's healthier. I mean, I'm not trying to brag, but like, look at this everybody.
It's unreal. It's unreal.
If you go back and like look at our old YouTube episodes from about a year ago, you're gonna see that like, wow, the results with Nutrafol are there for me. I'll tell you what, the results are so clear. It's truly the first thing people say when they see me now. They're like, oh my gosh, your hair's grown so much. Your hair's so much thicker. So thank you, Nutrafol.
You look amazing, babe.
Thank you.
Incredible. Nutrafol is the #1 dermatologist recommended hair growth supplement brand, trusted by over 1.5 million people. See thicker, stronger, faster growing hair with less shedding in just 3 to 6 months with Nutrafol. While many supplements rely solely on ingredient studies, Nutrafol clinically tests final formulations to ensure their efficacy. In a clinical study, 84% of men showed improvement in their hair after 6 months taking Nutrafol Men Hair Growth Supplement, and 90% of women saw overall improvement in their hair after taking Nutrafol Women Hair Growth Supplement for 6 months. Those are huge, huge numbers.
Yeah, they're huge numbers. And with Nutrafol, building a hair growth routine is easy. Order online, no prescription needed. Enjoy free shipping, automated deliveries, and up to 20% savings with a Nutrafol subscription. Plus, get free naturopathic doctor consults and a Headspace meditation membership. Incredible. Start your hair growth journey with Nutrafol. For a limited time, Nutrafol is offering our listeners $10 off your first month subscription and free shipping when you go to Nutrafol.com and enter the promo code MOMDAD. Find out why Nutrafol is the best-selling hair growth supplement brand at Nutrafol.com, spelled Nutrafol.com, promo code MOMDAD. That's Nutrafol.com, promo code MOMDAD. Okay, so family, before we get into this, just want to give you all a reminder that next week we have one episode. Next week on Thursday, we have the finale of Love Island coming out. So prepare for that. And then the following week, we'll be dropping 2 Bachelor in Paradise recaps because we've got some busyness coming up this week and into this weekend. Our daughter is in Tech Week right now and into the woods in a show. We're very excited. So, there's some busyness. So the one episode next week and then 2 the following week, Bachelor in Paradise. I think those are going to come out Monday, Wednesday, or Monday, Thursday. We'll keep you updated. That is the 411. That is the deal. Also, I just wanted to mention before we dive into BIP, just to cover a smidgy of Bachelor news here. So, family, Mel Owens, who has been cast as our new Golden Bachelor, has had some controversy. Has had some controversy.
Wait, a 60-year-old white guy from Orange County? A little controversy?
66.
No
66.
way.
And yeah, you know what? Guess what? If you go back to the episode of us finding out that he was cast as the Bachelor, and we found out he's a 66-year-old guy, used to be a football player. He's now living in Orange County.
Oh, that resume
used to have a very young wife. And Evan and I said, we think this probably isn't going to go super well.
I love how he didn't even make it to the show. Like, you know what I mean? Like, didn't even make it. We were expecting at least like, okay, you're in, and then episode 4, there's a bunch of drama that drops. You know it's great when it doesn't even make it to the show. It's like, oh my God.
This guy went on some random, well, it might not be a random podcast. I apologize if it's not. I don't know. But it was a podcast I'm not aware of. And he was telling the guy was like, do you get to pick the women who are on your season? He said, so Mel Owens is 66. Yeah. And he said, here's the thing. I just told them, I don't get to pick them, but I just told them I want between 40 and 60 tops. Yeah. If they're older than 60, I'm not dating them. Right. Okay? So again, this man is a 66-year-old man. He refuses to date someone older than 60. I think he'd even be like, ugh, to the 60. I think he's probably hoping for the 40s. Probably more, again, women my age.
He's hoping for the 30s. Let's be real. He's hoping someone slips in.
Probably more women my age. And beyond that, the conversation was yucky.
Right, gross.
Okay, he was just like, they gotta be hot, they gotta be fit, I don't want no fake hips, wigs, da-da-da-da-da. I mean, the only thing this man cares about
is looks,
is looks, like an arm candy, in his opinion, situation, who's young. So the people are not happy, needless to say. So I don't think I don't believe it's officially been announced that he's being replaced, but I would imagine he's going to be replaced because they haven't even started filming it. And people are already this like, are you for real right now?
Well, and let's also be honest. He probably broke contract already because it's like these people, when they're on the show and then off the show, they're pretty locked down. Like they can't be going on all the shows. They're not doing all the interviews. They're usually kind of like, everything's kind of tight-lipped.
Yes.
So the fact that he went on a show and was squawking like before the show, they're immediately like, we can't control this guy. This is a nightmare.
They're like, he's already
aside from all the problematic, the fact that he's on a show just like going off.
The fact that he's already so much of a PR problem before he's even started filming is bananas.
Well, I'm glad that it didn't happen mid-show because that's always the drama we're dealing with.
Who knows? You never know with this franchise. They might all of a sudden be like, we're just going to keep them.
You guys, Orange County's not the vibe.
Don't know.
To great people who live there. But like, if you live there and you're a good person, you know what we're talking about. The pickings are slim for that generation of dudes to be like stand-up guys.
An older man from Orange County is like I mentioned before, when I saw Mel's photo in his bio, I said, this is the man that when me and Instagram Free Aunt Katie go down to the bars in Laguna Beach in Orange County, this man comes up to my friend Instagram Free Aunt Katie and relentlessly will hit on her. Did Mel actually do that? No, but I'm saying I know the type.
Oh my God.
Okay.
The bars are full of hymns.
I know it. And so he just, So there's that. Just 100%. Wanted to address the fact that we might be getting a new Golden Bachelor announcement soon. Yeah. We shall see.
We'll see.
We shall see.
Not shocking.
I mean, my gosh, dude. It's like for real.
It's just
unreal. I can't even believe.
How did he think that was going to go?
He has the audacity to say this behind a mic. Imagine behind closed doors what's going on. He
probably doesn't understand really how the internet works. He's just like, wait, we're just chatting, right? It's like, no, this is going out into the world, my guy.
Chit chat. Okay, so let's get into this premiere episode of Bachelor in Paradise, aka the episode where Evan is trying to remember who the heck any of these people are.
I have no idea what you're talking about. I am an educated, finger on the pulse
Every person
guy.
Was coming out, and I would imagine you'd be like, who is that?
Well, no, I remembered everyone as in like facial recognition.
Did you really?
Yeah, like everyone except like obviously Kyle.
Right.
But about everyone, I was like, yeah, I know who they are. I just can't like trace them. I can't tell you what season they were on. You know what I mean?
Really
so I had to kind of get back into it. But like facial recognition, my facial recognition is pretty solid.
I'm very impressed.
If I see someone's face, I'll be like, yeah, I knew you.
I was struggling. I was having to do a little bit of 1-2 Googling. Yeah. I was
I have to Google like why I know them. I'm just saying I've seen their face before.
I've seen them before.
That's all I'm saying. I'm not
They're
saying,
not a
oh,
total
wait,
stranger.
that's blank from blank. It's more like, I recognize that human face.
Recognize that human face is crazy. Okay, let's start with meeting our cast this season. So, first, Spencer enters. He's the very first one who walks into this new resort in Costa Rica. He was from Jen's season. If you recall, pet photographer. Do you remember this?
Yeah, he did the
pet photographer.
Yeah.
Now,
turned it into merch.
He did?
Right?
No, we created that idea.
No. I thought was it him or was it, who was it that like would take a picture of the animal and then turn it into like stuff for the people? You know what I mean? It would be like, oh, that would be a cozy.
That might be what he does, but I'm pretty sure that's just what we assumed he did.
Oh, shit. Okay. I'm mixing histories there.
You're just remembering our created history, but that actually might be what his...
I think that, I mean, I don't think you just do pet photography and then you walk out the door. I think you do something with the images.
Have you ever seen a gorgeous portrait of a Chihuahua?
That's actually kind of fire. Just like not... Whatever. Well,
I feel like you would love being a pet photographer. I feel like it's kind of your dream gig.
Anything with the rubs.
Spencer is so loud. His voice was ricocheting off of the resort walls, and not like loud in a way that he's yelling, loud in the way that he has like a booming voice. Just as his personality is booming.
Well, you know what's interesting about him, in my opinion?
Yeah.
Is it's like he needs hot guy training. Does that make sense?
I don't want to give him hot guy training because he's pure and wonderful without the hot guy training.
Now, this is exactly the issue in the dating scene. Like when we have our friends who are like dating in the scene, and they're like, I just want a good guy who's also hot, right?
Yeah.
The issue is this: you get Spencer, and Spencer's an awesome guy. Don't get me wrong, but what you get is like this, like. On paper, Adonis, 6'4".
He's really gorgeous,
10,
isn't he?
Great hair, blue eyes, shredded. You're like,
looks like Superman.
Exactly.
Looks like a Marvel character.
But there is this element of like, but you also want kind of what goes with hot guy, which is like swagger, cool, sex appeal, mystery, kind of like look at you at the bar and then like, ignores you. And then you're like, what's his deal? Versus he has none of that.
I know. And I love it.
And it's so sweet. But I almost just want to reach out to him and be like, you should get hot guy training because you know what I mean? Like you would feel a lot less anxiety and need to be like, hello, everyone.
But that's who he is.
I know, but it's like just a little bit of hot guy training and all those girls would be losing their minds. Instead, it was like one of them was like interested.
Let me say this.
Because everyone sees him and goes, wow. And then after 5 minutes, they're like, oh, yeah, anyway, over here. And it's no offense to him. It's like, be yourself. But there is a little bit of like, just a little bit of training.
Spencer, I think you should 100% not get hot guy training because you are a hot guy. And I want you to continue being you because I am a massive Spencer fan.
Oh, I am too. I love the guy.
I am a massive Spencer fan.
But I just already see him kind of like being like in his head.
And I liked him on Jen's season, but I didn't like love him. I am kind of obsessing over him. I'm obsessed with him because there's a few factors happening. First of all, he's giving me big theater kid energy. So I am feeling cozy in this space with Spencer.
Sure.
He's giving me, if he isn't a theater kid, he hung out with theater kids or was a band kid. Like there is a safety there that I'm just like, I feel like if I all of a sudden broke into a riff from Hairspray, I started singing Good Morning Baltimore, I feel like you would join in with me. Yeah. I just feel that safety there. But the other thing about Spencer, and I could be wrong, but I started to notice during all of the ITMs that they're having him go off because he's funny. He's like actually a really funny guy.
Love the vibes.
I think that he's fully in on the joke. I think Spencer is totally in on the joke because there was numerous times where he was talking about like Jess going off with Sam, etc., and how he was like spiraling. He had a smirk going that I think he's fully in on it. Like
he kind of overdoes the.
I think he's feeding the people. Okay. I think he's giving us. Life's a stage. He's a theater kid and he's feeding the people. Okay. That's the vibe that I'm getting from him.
All right, I like.
But
I
also think he is like genuinely that guy. But he's giving us more.
Yeah.
To feed us.
Well, I love being fed, and I have more to say about a concept, but I don't want to slow us down. So let's continue on, or else we'll be here for 4 hours if we're psychoanalyzing every single person. But so let's continue on. But I don't want to forget a thought.
Okay.
Remember, it's called being yourself. That's the thought.
Be yourself.
Be yourself. That's not. I'm not telling you to do that. I'm saying that's a thought I have.
Okay, I'll remember that thought.
We'll come back to it.
Then Alex comes in, but of course, Alex from Grant's season, the llama queen, brings up the butt plug. We were huge fans of Alex on Grant's season. Love her energy. But like I was saying, she seemed different on this show than what we saw of her on Grant's. On Grant's, I feel like we got a little piece of her, but it was still bacheloritized.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Versus this one, she seems a lot more sarcastic.
Yes.
She seems a lot more like bold in the way that she'll
I agree.
And I really like it.
Agree.
I like her
still
vibe.
love her very much.
But she's
great vibes.
But even in like the the intro.
Yeah, the intro was definitely different. That was like the intro was like, oh, that's a different
The
vibe.
intro, she's like, my type is hot, doesn't steal the spotlight, obsessed with me. And I was like, really?
I think, obviously, these are pre-written things for them to write.
I want that for you, Alex. I want that for you. Noted, Alex brought up at the very top that they were talking about icks. And she's like, I mean, the biggest ick is getting serenaded on the first date.
Yeah. It was great.
Ooh. And all I could think back was that moment with Grant on the piano singing at her.
Yeah.
And we were like, this is...
Yeah, this is a great diss.
So rough.
Yeah, it's horrible. I agree with her 100%.
And the fact that she brought that up was...
fantastic.
Iconic behavior.
I loved it.
Iconic behavior. So then after Alex comes in, Lexi comes in.
Yeah.
Lexi is from Joey's season. If you remember, she ended up leaving. Her and Joey actually had like a vibe going on, but she ended up leaving because they didn't have the same timeline, I believe, like wanting to start a family-wise. She talked about her endometriosis. She was a really amazing person. The people loved her. She talks about how now she has she runs her own dating service essentially, where she's like setting people up.
I mean, smart move after being on a big dating show to be like, I've done this, and it's kind of like it's related. I get it.
I was like, I don't think we've seen anyone come off of The Bachelor doing that. Genius idea to be like, I was on The Bachelor, now I have this dating service.
Yeah, I mean, my quick little just thing with her is that she looks like she should be on the show, and her personality is not show. You know what I mean? Like, she's very chill, very sweet. She just seems like awesome and cool and laid back. She doesn't seem like reality TV to me. You know what I mean? She's
like dream person I'd want to set my favorite friend up with.
She just seems like a real life person who's awesome. But the looks are, she's very beautiful. So it's like she looks like she would be on these dating shows. But she's always just so laid back, so chill. Not really like shy. Not really like, out and in it. So I'm always a little shocked she returned just for that vibe.
Well, a lot of people were saying, they're like, oh, we want to see her goofy side, even though the date later with Justin. He's like, I think the silly side, or people just...
Not everyone has to have a silly, goofy side, by the way.
That's true. You know what? Not everyone has to be funny. Is she not enough? This beautiful, intelligent woman, is this not enough for you? Does she also have to be a comedian?
Yeah, I feel I don't really see... She's like lacking in red flag. She kind of just seems like an awesome person, you know what I mean? And we're like sticking her in this, and it's like not everyone's meant for. Well, she also gives off TV.
Definitely more like Bachelor energy than Bachelor in Paradise energy.
And she's the one that was like kids and marriage and definitely.
Maybe she'll take the money and run. Who knows?
Love it.
Next up, we have Jeremy. If you recall, Jeremy is on Jen's season. In fact, got up high. Was it third or fourth on Jen's season? Yeah. And he's 30. He lives in New York. Listen, okay. From what I recall about Jeremy on Jen's season, I feel like I wasn't a fan at first. And then I felt like as the season progressed, I started to like Jeremy more. And I felt like I kind of got him a little more.
Yep.
But I'm curious with Jeremy on this show.
Yeah.
Because maybe I'm fully making this up. Jeremy, I'm really sorry. Not that it's a bad thing. But I feel like since the show, I see like a lot of paparazzi type pics of Jeremy like living up the party lifestyle in New York. Like club, club, bus, private jet, other club. Like Lady Gaga energy, we're hitting it up. And so I'm wondering if Jeremy is so like gives off laid back vibes, but I think Jeremy's probably going to be more of like a party boy, fuck boy than he comes off.
I think Jeremy is the only true reality TV type guy on the show right now.
What?
He's a Love Island guy.
For realsies?
100%. He's chill.
Yeah.
He's laid
very
back,
chill.
but he grabs Bailey right away and starts making out with her with nothing up front. It was like, hey, really nice to meet you. Bam, made out with her twice.
Yeah.
Then after they made out 17 times, he goes, I'm also excited to see who else comes in.
True.
While getting chosen by Bailey.
True, very true, very true.
That's like major Love Island dating reality TV show vibes. To be like on the low, on the side, sneaky, being like, yeah, Bailey's cool. It's good making out. Good to get her like vote to stay on the show. But I'm really excited to see who else walks in. Everyone else is doing the like, I'm here just for you. Everyone's not knowing what they're doing. He is actually a reality TV guy.
Okay. I think I don't doubt it. I don't think that you're wrong.
I think he's giving player vibes. I think he's giving party boy vibes.
Yeah.
I think 100%. Like, I think he's actually going to play the game.
Well, we saw from a little preview that it appears that he's going to be playing for sure.
I think he's
that some hearts are going to be broken over Jeremy.
He's going to play this like a game.
But I think their hearts will really be broken over Jeremy because, like I was saying, I don't think he gives off that initial energy of party boy, fuck boy.
Also, he's 30, but he kind of has an older vibe to him. He kind of acts 35, 37.
Yes.
He doesn't have like the young 25-year-old thing. So I think people are going to be kind of be wooed
like,
into like he's a man.
He's chill. He's probably ready to settle down.
Exactly.
And you're like, I don't think so. I think Jeremy's at the opening of every fucking thing, everybody. And I think he's ready to rage and party.
I think he's the real player in this whole thing.
Lots of exploring.
I think he's the real player.
That's what I think. Next, we have Jonathan. Let's talk about Jonathan in a second. But first, we got to take one more quick pause, family. So, as I just briefly shared, our kiddo Ember is in the middle of Tech Week for a production of Into the Woods with an amazing theater group. So the house has been buzzing and busy. If you're a theater kid yourself, you know Tech Week is buzzing and busy, which before would have meant we'd be stressing out about making time to shop and cook for healthy meals. But now planning meals really can be simple and stress-free. Imagine having your week of meals already decided for you with personalized options that fit your lifestyle. That's what makes Hungry Root such a game changer in our house. I'm telling you, family, we started using Hungry Root a few months ago, and it immediately became a forever staple because number one, the ease of it. I mean, we're talking over 15,000 recipes to choose from each week, and many ready in just 15 minutes, okay? And number two, the personalization of goals and nutrition preferences with Hungry Root has blown me away. Whether you're gluten-free, dairy-free, high protein, focused on gut health, or just about anything else, Hungry Root helps you stay on track. So after a quick quiz, their Smart Cart technology builds a weekly menu that fits your needs. It's like having a personal meal planner who just gets it. It is so thorough, it's amazing, and they really get you. I personally have been wanting to eat with an anti-inflammatory focus. That's been my main goal because of some health stuff. But I was really overwhelmed about that before Hungry Root because I didn't know where to start. Well, with Hungry Root, I just let them know my focus and they take care of all of it for me, okay? And it's delicious. It's incredible. And by the way, it gets smarter with every order. It's just been a huge gift for me. I love Hungry Root.
Yeah, it really is incredible. We had their creamy chicken and bell pepper Alfredo last night, and it was so, so delicious. We've had it before, and we're like, wow, we need this again.
Yeah, I wanted some round 2 and round 3 and round 4.
So good. And by the way, Hungry Root holds its ingredients to high standards, avoiding over 200 additives like high fructose corn syrup, preservatives, and artificial sweeteners. They use quality ingredients like hormone and antibiotic-free meat and seafood, organic produce, and non-GMO choices, so you can feel good about what you're eating.
And what I've really seen on top of all of that is that Hungry Root helps cut down on food waste, and it keeps us from defaulting to expensive takeout when time's tight, which is huge. it's huge, okay? We are so grateful for Hungry Root. Take advantage of this exclusive offer. For a limited time, get 40% off your first box, plus get a free item in every box for life. Go to hungryroot.com/momdad and use code MOMDAD. That's hungryroot.com/momdad, code MOMDAD to get 40% off your first box and a free item of your choice for life. hungryroot.com/momdad, code MOMDAD. Okay, back to BIP. Next, we have Jonathan from Jen's season, our favorite medium king, as he has declared himself. And if you remember, after Jen's season, Jonathan and Jen became like really good friends.
Yeah.
He was there for every one of her Dancing with the Stars performances, supporting her, cheering her on. In fact, I met Jonathan at one of Jen's Dancing with the Stars performances, and I've met him then a couple times since.
Yeah.
He is a wonderful guy.
Yeah.
Like, he's so nice. He can have a conversation with everyone. He's great. He works the room.
Yeah.
Everybody loves Jonathan. Jonathan's just like one of those guys.
He
He's
has
got
that
great
energy too.
He's got great energy.
But even just on the show, like on this show so far, he has the energy of like, I'm not going to force anything. I'm not really panicking. Good things will come to me. He's like manifesting energy. He's got that kind of like, it's all good, you know?
Yes, I'm curious to see him on this season because obviously Jonathan's a very, very good looking guy.
Yeah.
And like I said, when I've seen Jonathan, like he's one of those people because he has such a dynamic personality and he's also bold with conversation that I feel like people will like swarm around him. I'm wondering how he's going to be with kind of how he was like with Alex, if he's going to be the pursuer so much or kind of just chill.
He seems like a middle guy where it's like, I'm going to have my moments, but I'm not going to be pursuer energy.
The vibe that I get from him is that he's going to be more like the guy who has things happen organically. So when there are love triangles, it might be one of those situations where it's like, I'm not going to be like, choose me as your knight, but I'm just going to kind of be myself and see if it ends up working out.
Well, it works for him.
It works for him.
I mean, look, literally, he's like, oh, Alex, what's up? By the way, I didn't even talk to you at all. And she's kind of like, yeah, you haven't tried it with anybody. I choose you. So it's like, it's not like the evidence isn't helping him to stop being that way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm telling you.
He had one conversation. Ricky had days of work. And Jonathan literally was like, what's up? And it was like over. You know what I mean? So I do think there is a little bit of that, like.
He's very charismatic in person. He's very charismatic. So I think I could see definitely too, as the episodes progress, that there could be some battles for
charming.
For Jonathan's
Super
attention.
charming.
I could see a lot of women wanting to make it work. He's got that smile.
He's a very charming guy.
Next, we have Bailey from Grant's season. She was our selfie social media queen.
Oh, this was Balin, right?
No, this was not Balin.
Just kidding.
Balin was from Zach's season.
Every time I hear Bailey, I just think Balin.
You're a cup of morning Balin.
Balin, yes. Balin's.
Bailey. And Bailey was one of the people on Grant's season that we all were really hoping to get to know more because she was funny.
She was very funny.
She was charming. At first, when she came on Grant's season, it was like, oh God, is this social media thing for real? Right. And then you kind of find out that she's like in on the joke and you're like, oh, she's really, really funny.
Kind of though, because then later on you hear, was it like her and Spencer talking about selfies? And she's like, no, we did meet very briefly.
No, that was her and Hakeem. Oh, that conversation was brutal.
It was like, yeah, we met very briefly. Oh, yeah, cool. Yeah, we took a selfie together. And he's like, so it's like she really does live the life. Like,
she
you know what I mean?
practices what she preaches.
Also, taking a selfie is very like, it gives boomer energy. You know what I mean? Like someone meets you and you're like, good to meet you. Can I get a selfie? Remember, what was it? Was it Love Is? What was the one? What was the show we were watching where the guy went on to have the dates?
Yes, Later Daters.
And he would every time he'd go on a date, he'd take a selfie. Yeah, and it was always just like that's such a weird thing to do. But she kind of has that vibe to me, just like, oh, it's all about the selfie, just so I can post about it. It's like very funny.
Well, Jeremy says her body is tea, and then
I hated that.
He goes, her
not
body
that it's not true. Just hated that he said that. That pissed me off.
Bailey was the one who came in that all the guys were immediately like, whoa, Bailey is hot as hell. And everyone's like interest was piqued when she walked in. Next we have Hakeem, aka the face of the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives trailers, as ABC has been using him. He's from Jen's season. You know, he's known for all of his expressions. Hakeem, this was rough, everybody. Like, I don't know how else to say it.
It was just like, you know, that friend you all have where it's like just really anxious and like is just kind of always on, like, you're like, it's chill, but just be chill. We're just going to go do a thing. You're right. Let's be chill. Yeah. And then they walk in the room and there's like, and they say something insane and you're like, okay, it's just like all the prep work is gone.
I don't know if Hakeem felt a lot of pressure coming on because, you know, he was announced early on. Yeah. He became the face for the ABC trailers. And so they're all like, Hakeem, give us more.
Be the face.
Give us more. Give us more. So he's going on this season of BIP being
he's gotten more crazy.
That's what I'm saying. I think that it was like producers have been like, more. And he comes on almost anxious, like I have to deliver a performance of a lifetime. And it's like, Hakeem, you need to take a breath, my guy, because you were either anxious or, you know, no judgment, diving into some of the party favors because it was wild.
Bro, if that's all natural, I mean, he should be studied for energy because it's like, that's a renewable source. They could be power plants could get energy off this guy. It's truly unbelievable. I mean, I wonder what it feels like to be inside his body because it's just from the outside, it's like, this guy's going to combust. When he was having some of the conversations, when he would just be like, so yeah, you seem like an absolute badass. How are you raised? What's the relationship like with your family? Oh wait, I've already asked you that. What about, and he just had like a list. I really do think that a lot of this had to do with the fact that he put a lot of pressure on himself being like, I'm known to be that guy. And so the people love me for that. So I have to like deliver. It's a little bit, but then he knows it's too much. So he's constantly warring with that.
It's kind of giving me
my favorite though, my number one favorite thing he did was the cheers. I don't know if you caught the cheers. When he goes, all right, guys, cheers. And he hasn't made one connection, by the way. No one's shown any interest in him. And he just goes, cheers, hopefully more sex.
And everyone goes, oh.
And a good time. And it's like such a mellow vibe. Like everyone's like just sipping like a little champagne and just like super mellow. And he's like, more fucking and sucking, yeah. And everyone's just like, and literally the women recoil. They all went,
everyone said,
they literally like showed the side, and the women like lurched back and like made all sick faces. And he's just like, let's fucking go. And it's just like, bro, out of control, this guy.
He kind of was just like the whole episode, and I'm actually so sad. Spoiler, he gets sent home. I'm actually so sad he's gone because he was really like, I was feeling
great for clips.
I was feeling uncomfortable watching it, but he was like so giving me a character from a show like The Office.
I was trying to think of a comedy show that he like reminded me of.
He reminded me of like
Andy, maybe
an Andy, but like a character, like a new character that comes into the office who really wants to impress the boss and is doing too much, like an Andy where you're like, hey, we gotta like keep it chill.
Dude, when he was melting down in the bathroom by himself, he's like, you got this, Hakeem, be yourself, everyone loves you for you need to get in there. And it would super cut to like, be yourself, you know what, it's all about the energy you bring, you gotta listen, everyone's wrong about you, and it would just cut to him going, fuck. Like him, like he would talk to himself, and then by the end of it, wouldn't believe it. So he'd just be like, fuck. Like he's like, I'm trying to lie to myself, and then by the end, the lie doesn't work.
Oh god.
Oh my god, that guy's out of control.
Oh, sending you love, Hakeem.
Huge fan,
love
Hakeem.
from your mom and dad. I'm really sad that you're gone, my guy. I'm sorry if they put too much pressure on you because that's really what it felt like. Next we have Jess. We have Jess, who is from Joey season. If you recall, Jess is the one who had the first kiss with Joey and then went and told everybody, and there was drama from there. She walks in and she is immediately into Spencer. She said that she's had her sights set on him beforehand. And as soon as she walks in, her and Spencer really click. Yeah. They click. They're having great conversation. They're going super deep. They're like, oh my gosh, we got into trauma right away.
Right.
And listen, Jess and Spencer, I actually like right out the gate, I was like, I like this. I do actually like this a lot. I feel like I didn't knowing the little bit of her and a little bit of him, I wasn't assuming that they would match up, but I did like what was happening.
Yeah.
But what we know of Jess, and I believe in my soul, is that she's down for the drama. So I could see us getting...
I think there'll be a journey there. I think he's going to get his heart broken. I think he's kind of like, he even called himself the golden retriever. I think he's going to go along with her. And then I think she's allured by
the bad boy,
the Sam types that obviously there was a moment there, but like, I do feel like that if temptation comes, the golden retriever energy that she's kind of, it's like head versus heart. I think there's going to be something happening.
I think
there.
so too.
Yeah.
I think so too. Next we have Kyle. Now, of course, Kyle comes in and nobody knows who Kyle is. Kyle was on our girl Katie Thurston season.
Yes.
We got 2 people from our girl Katie Thurston season. And so Kyle comes in and he's got a line already. He's got the company line. If you blink, you didn't see me.
Which is different from if you blinked, you missed me. You know what I mean? It was like he was kind of trying to almost make it his own.
Yeah, if you blinked, you didn't see me. And he was just hopping from person to person with that line. Here's the deal with Kyle. So I'm trying to think. I've met a handful of the people on this season, but I met Kyle a while ago, very briefly.
Yeah.
Seemed like a really, really nice guy, a really genuine guy. The people that I was like hanging around also that he was, he's a great guy. Kyle is someone else who I fear should not be on Bachelor in Paradise, because when Kyle speaks, he reminds me of somebody when I walk into a corporate job who they send to fire me.
Oh,
Kyle is like the one who sits me down and he's like, hey, you know what? We really, really appreciate what you've been doing for this company. You're essential. You've really moved mountains here at this Fortune 500 company, but we're going to have to let you go. But you know what? An amazing severance
you are going to do
package.
So well on
it's
your next
awaiting
journey.
You on the other side, and the mountains that you will climb on the other side. He felt like
I have so much faith in you.
So he felt like he fit into this resort perfectly.
Very corporate vibe.
He would be perfect on the show we were talking about, where he meets someone in a corporate
100%.
setting. But Kyle, like you said, it's not the Jeremy energy.
Like his ITMs were so like weirdly ingenuine. Like it just felt like he was just like, you know what I mean? Like
totally.
Everyone else is like, yeah, I'm kind of tripping about here's a little honesty. Here's
He had
a little
like
bit
a
of this.
script.
He was just like, haha, fantastic to see you here. It very like, I don't even know who this guy is.
Yes. Yeah.
And maybe that's him. Maybe he's just that guy. But like, it was like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Who are you energy?
He was cracking me up because it just felt like whenever he was like sitting down with Bailey or whoever for a conversation, that I was like, oh, he's about to fire them. Like that's the energy that I was getting. Or like they've come to his TED Talk and he's kind of getting to know them before he gets up on the stage and like delivers a speech. So I'm like, I don't think we're getting to know each other. But like I said, he from what I'm aware of and in the moments that I met him, seems like a really nice guy, but it's not giving Bachelor in Paradise.
Yeah, because it was like when Bailey's like making out with another guy, he's like, fantastic. And you're like, what? You know what I mean? He had that kind of energy. Oh, we love, don't we? You're like, what? No, that's so bizarre.
Wait, what?
Like, I'm just happy for you. I want you to find happiness. Like, that means you're off the show. Yeah, just a very like, I don't know you.
He clearly is a very good looking guy.
Yeah.
I feel like we need to like send Kyle to some sort of, I don't know, a lawyer conference or something. And that I feel like you would do great in when people have, what is it called when they go to restaurants and they network after? When they have like the social hour.
Yeah,
you get
like a cocktail hour or like
but it's like percentages off your drinks like every Monday because they have like, I feel like Kyle would
mixer.
Yeah, I feel like Kyle would clean up at a mixer like that, but not so much in Bachelor in Paradise. Next we have Zoe. Obviously, Zoe from Grant's season made it to the top 3 without a one-on-one. Yeah. This is one of the individuals who we knew coming into the show who was going to be on. And her and Bailey are really good friends, so I'm sure that they're going to have like dynamics going on there. I want to talk more about Zoe in a minute because of who she's connecting with because my brain's exploding. I don't
iconic.
I don't know how to process it because during Grant's season, Zoe was someone who you and I both felt like was extremely misunderstood. I felt like she was a wonderful woman who just was like operating differently than some of the other women there and then was like villainized for that.
Sure.
We liked her. I think we got to know her better as the season progressed. I did not see this connection happening, and I have thoughts. Next, we have Ricky. Ricky, I had to look up.
Yeah. Because
Ricky was on Jen's season, and he was sent home night one.
Great energy, though.
Great energy.
I mean, definitely just that, like, another kind of anxious guy with a lot of energy, which just makes for fun TV.
I felt like Ricky was kind of giving me, like, Love Island-y energy. He was one of the only other ones that was like getting like Love Island energy.
Unfortunately for Ricky, he would have been the guy that's just like it's a beating every week. You know what I mean? Like he just can't seem to land the plane. He's trying so hard, and he's always looking behind him like who's my girl talking to?
Right.
It was just always that.
He immediately Alex was on his radar from the get. Yeah. Next we have Brian. Family. I don't know if you recall. So Brian was on Jen's season. He got eliminated week 2. I feel like I know Brian because in our cast bio, I think you and I talked about him for like 45 minutes. We could not get over Brian. Okay, at first we thought that he was living in Vegas. Our assumption was that he was working as like a magician of some sorts.
Right.
Something very of like old school
entertainment
Vegas magician, or like the guy who like hosts a line of like chorus girls at some sort of Vegas hotel. Then we found out he works in aesthetics. Like he delivers the Botox. He does this whole thing, and then we created all this lore around Brian. Brian shows up on Jen's season and immediately puts himself in a villainous position because Jeremy's in his car with Jen and he's like, get out, it's my car now. Yeah. And then he was being kind of creepy, I'll be quite frank with you, with Jen. And so we were all like, whoa, Brian, you came out hot out the gate and then immediately got eliminated.
He's just like, it's the bravado. Yeah, it's the interrupting you, stealing you out of the car. When he walked in, it was kind of like, it was so over the top, like, hey, ladies.
Well, he said in his ITM at the very beginning, he's just like, listen, I'm 6'3", I'm shredded, I got perfect skin, never met a mirror I didn't like. My mom says I'm gorgeous.
You know what I mean? It's just hilarious. It's just,
why is he here? My brain exploded. We had not had Bachelor in Paradise for. This is now this been a year. We missed it for a year. There's so many people we could pull from. Brian?
So random. I mean, maybe because he's kind of bravado, they were kind of hoping for a little bit of like maybe electricity. He was
gonna. I wonder
see.
if they think he's gonna be like explosive on the beach, if he's gonna get into like arguments, because I can see this guy getting into a fight or two after some drinks on the beach.
Well, yeah, and I love, one of my favorite things is like when Dale comes in later and rattles the guys. I think you really get a sense of how who the guys are.
Sure,
because you see who rattles quickly and who's like insecure.
Of course.
And Brian was like a great, he's here. So you love that because that means he's going to react.
He's going to react. Yeah. He's going to react. And he immediately, Zoe catches his eye because she's tall and he wants athletic children. Exactly. I mean, this is the type of guy this guy is.
And it's funny because Zoe said that later.
I know that was
I want because I want athletic children. I'm like,
that was actually
weird.
Kind of
Either
ironic.
They talked about that or they're weirdly connected.
But the two of them together, we'll talk about. You know what? Whatever. I want to talk about them right now.
Yeah.
Okay. Zoe and Brian together. The energy that I'm getting is like a celebrity and her fan.
Interesting.
It is not like a connection. It's like there's Zoe and Brian's the guy at the bar following her around like, well, here's one more drink. Like cornering her, like praying to talk to her. And because Zoe at the moment doesn't have another connection, that she's like dealing with it. But watching the two of them together, I'm just like, this is no. Like Brian is part of the Zoe fan club.
Okay.
And that's the dynamic.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't have that view.
What?
No.
Really?
No, I feel like they're both a little eccentric.
Sure.
They're both a little unique.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it might work because of that.
Oh my God. I don't want Brian for Zoe.
I'm just saying.
I don't want
I'm
that
just
for
saying.
Zoe.
You know what I mean? Like they're both just a little bit their own way.
Yeah,
And I just like when people are like that. And I just feel like there's a world where they connect through that.
See, Brian gives me the type of guy, right?
He doesn't hit me as like desperate or like begging for her attention.
I feel like, oh God, when I'm watching them when they're up at the bar, like where Wells is talking, it just looks like I feel like I'm at a bar watching a woman having a guy who won't stop talking to her all night, where she's like praying another guy comes along, but like because he's just there and he just won't leave her alone, it's like, all right, I'll indulge this guy for a minute. But Brian also gives me the energy that like if another woman breathes in his direction, he will have like be practically been engaged to Zoe, and if another woman breathes in his direction, he'll go running there, and he wants it all. Like there's nothing about Brian.
Okay, that's interesting.
That like if Zoe puts herself in the position as Zoe is the celebrity and him as the fan, you know, in like movies where all of a sudden the celebrity starts dating the fan is like, my life's never been better. I'm getting the vibe that Zoe's a celebrity, Brian's a fan. She may eventually be like, you know what? I kind of like this guy. And then he'll break her heart and I'll be enraged because it's like, how literally very dare you? Like you're getting so out of your league on this one. Yeah. And you'll last minute go fly off with somebody.
Okay, well, we'll see.
That's the vibe I get with Brian. But we'll see. Next we have Kat, the Queen of Paradise is back. I know, I'm so happy she's back. The Queen of Paradise has arrived. If you recall, Kat's last time in Paradise
Electric Factory
was electric. When Kat was on Paradise last time, she was Paradise. She was the only thing anyone was talking about. She carried Paradise on her back single-handedly. That birthday meltdown will live in my brain rent-free for forever.
Clip, everything was throwing a cake into the ocean. I mean, it just couldn't.
Screaming meltdown spirals
on my birthday
in the ITMs at producers, be like, I'm done. Everything to me.
And my favorite thing is that, listen, you can do small tweaks to your personality, right? You can work on some things.
Yeah, you can have some growth.
People never change. Never forget that. Okay. If we're talking people are who they are. They might, again, small tweaks, small things. It's back to The Office. It's like the anger management for Andy when he's just like, everything's fine. God, he punches a wall and he comes back from anger management and he's just like, everything's fine. Kat, there's nothing that could be more epic than Kat coming in, her being like, I've been in therapy and it's been really hard for me and it's amazing and now I'm this new person. And then fast forward to the end of the episode when they cut to her like scream crying and running into the thing and someone's being like, whoa, look at the actress of the year.
Oh, Sean.
All I'm saying is just like nothing could be more epic than her in the beginning coming in as like this new person, like Andy coming back from anger management to cutting back to the wall being punched. It's just everything.
I gotta tell you guys, nobody gives ITM like Kat gives ITM.
She's incredible.
She gives an incredible ITM. Like it is just.
She's reality TV.
She is reality TV. The sass, the energy. Yes. She is forever to me, and I don't know if I compared her to this before, but every time I look at her, she is just that extreme. She is your extremely hot young stepmom who kind of hates you and can't wait for you to leave to go to college because she's like, finally, that brat is gone and now I can be alone with my husband. But she's like the young hot stepmom.
See, I love that. My feeling is that if you date her, you're just always afraid you're gonna wake up one day and turn over and she's just looking at you like grossed out. You know what I mean? Like you're just like, oh man, hey, how's it going? And she's just going like, ew.
I've changed.
And then she
mind.
leaves that day. You know what I mean? Like she's definitely the type of girl that gets an ick over something and never talks to you again over one thing. And it's like the way that you walked out of the room grossed me out. You're dead to me.
Well, remember she was engaged to John Henry and that, so that didn't work out. So she's back. She's back to Paradise again.
See, her and Dale, we'll get into it. I want her to have a pet. Like, I want her to have a guy that's just like following her around all day, obsessed with her. And she keeps him around to like make her feel good when she's having a bad day.
Right.
But she kind of just throws him to the curb, dates another guy. That doesn't work out. And then she just comes back to him. Like, she just hits me as she would have that in real life.
Yes.
So it's just like, I can totally see.
We'll talk about her and Dale. We'll talk about her and Dale.
Something interesting there.
Oh, by the way, that's a side note about Brian. This is what I'm talking about, this energy. Where Brian, when Kat comes in, Brian goes in ITMs. Kat's just like every girl I've ever dated. Like, you know, I'm completely turned off by her, but she's so attractive, it's hard. And I go, sure, Brian. I'm sure all your ex-girlfriends look just like Kat.
Right.
Okay, my guy.
No,
like,
Kat-type character.
It's like, okay. Yeah. All right. You're like, yeah, I'm so turned off by someone like Kat. It's like, okay, sure, Brian. I'm sure that if Kat paid you just a smidgy of attention that you'd be like, ooh, get away from me.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah. Right, my guy. So that's who we meet at first. Okay. Yeah. And then Jesse Palmer arrives, and then we find out, you know, Wells is here in the house being shady. We have a new face in Paradise. Hannah Brown is here in charge of Paradise Relations. I have no idea what that means.
I mean, there's a contract that something has to be happening here.
I'm like, what? I don't understand. No shade to you, Hannah. Welcome to the screen.
Maybe they're trying to do like the Mark Wahlberg thing where they're like someone who can kind of sit down and like chat with you and kind of be the like, you know, like we have Jesse Palmer who does the kind of just like, you know, hello, welcome. And then maybe there's like, they're trying to also accomplish the Mark Wahlberg thing.
Wells gives the shade and Hannah has like the warm conversations.
Hannah's the like warm therapist.
We'll see how that works
Basically
out.
what they're doing is they're trying to take one man, Mark Wahlberg, and you replace him with 4 people. They can't get it. You
could never compete with Mark Wahlberg. We find out that they're going to be doing new things like games, chemistry tests.
I think it'll be fun
to see. I'm excited about that because sometimes to me, Paradise can get to a point where it gets really boring. Because
if people lock in,
no
you're
shade
like...
to our wonderful cast members, but again, these aren't typically people who are cast for the same type of roles as like a Too Hot to Handle. So they're not wild, right? So I think that sometimes Paradise can bore me a little bit if we don't have enough drama. So I like that there's
you got to shake it up
chemistry
with the games.
tests to shake everybody up. So after this, we get a couple new arrivals. We have Justin that shows up. Again, from our girl, Katie's season. One of the top guys on Katie's season. This is his 3rd round of Paradise. And I say, sir, the bravery.
Yeah.
The bravery. He's had it rough on some of these Paradise rounds. The fact that he's coming back for round 3 it's a brave move.
A little bit of an anxious vibe from him, I'm getting.
Well, you know, when he walked in and he was like, I feel like the college kid coming back into high school and everyone's like young.
Yeah, it just didn't have, it had an anxious vibe to him. He had kind of just on edge, not loose and fun, but kind of.
Also, it's like, I think he's used to going on to Paradise and having a bunch of his friends there. And it's like, these aren't his people.
Yeah, he's like back in college.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You go back.
You're like
back
joining
to
a frat.
school.
And they're like, what's up, dude? And you're like, where are the CDs? And they're like, what's a CD? It's a little bit of that.
Now, okay. So Justin was dating Susie. So Susie from Clayton's season, him and Susie became really close as friends. And then all of us watched as these two started dating. And they dated for quite a long time. Yeah. And then I think they broke up. And then I think they were like on again, off again, from what I'm aware of. Obviously, we saw from the preview that Susie is coming to Paradise.
And his interaction with Lexi is like very much like, hey, by the way, it's a recent breakup kind of energy.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like, it's not like Susie shows up later. What? It's like they're already talking about Susie in their conversations.
They're talking about Susie. He's talking about how Susie means a lot to him.
Yeah.
But then I'm also saying, too, then we see in the preview that Susie is coming to Paradise.
Right.
Family.
Which is brutal.
I'm going to tell you this right now. This is not fun for me. Like, I feel just with the preview of Susie showing up, I feel like sick to my stomach because Susie and Justin aren't like we met on the show and we like dated for a couple weeks and then we're being reunited. It's like, no, this is a couple who like loved each other, were best friends, then dated for a long time. Like, I'm sweating thinking about having to watch them see each other date other people. Like, I'm panicking. I want the best for both Justin and Susie. They seem like wonderful people.
Right.
But I don't want to watch them hurt each other unintentionally. Like, I don't want to watch that. It's like the idea of me and you when we were friends for however long and then you and I started dating and we were so in love and then just because of life we had to break up. If you and I were forced, if we did a reality TV show together and I had to watch you date and you had to watch me date, even if we were being so kind to each other, it would still hurt so bad.
Yeah, I agree.
Even if you do it so well and lovingly, it's going to hurt.
Yeah, it's awful.
So bad.
Awful.
Like, I'm getting really, like, I feel really anxious thinking about having to see this.
It's gonna be definitely uncomfortable. It's gonna be uncomfortable.
I'm like panicking. Well, JP gives Justin a date card and he's like, hey, you can use this and you're gonna have like a night swim, whatever. He immediately connects with Lexi, which makes sense to me. Lexi, they're both like similar age. Yeah. Justin is like, hey, I'm ready for something serious. I've been in this world for a while.
Yeah, they're both
like,
kind of linked. They both have similar goals, I guess.
Yeah, they're ready. Like they're both ready to settle down and kind of move forward in that direction in a relationship. So he asks her out on a date. It starts raining.
Right.
So they're all set inside, but like they have Justin. What the hell, you guys?
They're not a spa. Is there not something
they
they
have
could go
Justin
to? Like,
get fully ready, go to Lexi's room, knock on her door. She comes out. She's in a gown, fully ready, looking gorgeous, and they make him say like, "So sorry, because of the rain. Looks like our date was canceled, but like we'll plan something soon."
It's like, of all the things you could have put him anywhere. I mean, it's a hotel. There's conference rooms. There's spas. There's
just walk 5
restaurant.
steps into her bedroom. You guys got them all their own bedrooms.
Exactly.
Like, just make a little corner and put room service in the corner. You're only going to show us 30 seconds of their date anyway.
Very strange.
What was that about? I think, genuinely, the reason that they did this was I think the rain ended up shifting their plans. And then they went, oh, here's an idea. We'll have him not do the date with her. And then tomorrow, Justin can have a moment sitting with Hannah Brown. And she goes, I'll take care of it.
Yeah.
Because he pulls Hannah Brown and is like, hey, I want to plan a date for Lexi. She's like, let me handle it. I'll be the liaison. Yeah. Like, I really think that's why. And I'm like, you guys stop. It's too much. Yeah. We're trying too hard to make this liaison.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, it's like, where is this coming from, the liaison?
I'd rather you guys literally just have Wells behind the bar and have Hannah sitting at the bar drinking all day.
Yeah.
Just inserting opinions while people walk up.
Right. Just the person who lives at the bar. Didn't we have that idea last time about like someone who's
like
just at the bar?
An older man.
Yeah. Just like, oh, these fucking kids. Like just someone at the bar.
Just have her sit there and drink all day and talk to people at the bar.
A drinking buddy.
Yeah.
Just a drinking buddy.
Just always a drinking buddy. Always there. In case anyone, because there's always someone who wanders there and is alone and they feel sad. Or just gets
broken up with and they're going to someone to talk
have her
to
be the drinking buddy.
Wells was that, but Wells is such a hater. It's not a vibe.
He's so fucking shady now that you're like, I need a little bit of warmth, so I guess I'll go to Hannah.
Exactly.
You need, maybe that's...
Yeah, because when you go to a bar, right, you don't, it's not the bar, the bartender's serving you. So there's a little bit of like, the bartender's always the kind of like, yeah, sure, maybe some advice, but the boozer at the end of the bar, that's the one with the stories. You know what I mean? So she could have been the boozer at the end of the bar telling old stories.
It's true. It's true. Okay, so by the way, as this is all happening, we have a few things starting to spark. We have Alex and Ricky, who he like steals her from Kyle. He's like, I've been wanting to talk to you this whole time. He's very much like letting her know how he feels right off the rip.
Yeah. Ricky
is with Alex. Kyle and Bailey are having some moments together, and he's like, I'm vibing hard with her. I think she thought he was cute. I think she thinks he's hot.
She's like, oh, okay.
But I didn't feel any chemistry at all.
No, it was just like, he's paying me a lot of attention.
Yeah,
he's a cute guy.
He's a good-looking guy. Kat and Jonathan are chit-chatting a little bit. And like I said, Spencer and Jess, of course, they're fully locked in and they kiss. Yeah. They are the very, very first kiss of paradise. And then the next day, by the way, Jeremy, first scene of the next day, morning, day 2, hasn't been drinking, right? It's like 8 a.m. We just hear him go, what's your favorite sex position?
Yeah.
And I'm like, Jeremy, my guy, it's 8 a.m.
Yeah.
We're just getting up on the second day. We don't know each other yet. No one's been drinking.
Who was he asking?
Alex.
He was asking Alex.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gross.
It's weird, right?
No, it's not weird. It's gross. It's a weird thing to ask anyone. Really ever. Unless everyone's wasted and laughing and it's a part of a game.
And it's like you like know each other and we're like opening up.
It's giving I'm
it's all
horny
very
this morning and I want to talk about it. It's
yeah.
gross. Yeah, it's really gross to me. It's also such a basic question. It's like a sexual version of what's your favorite color?
It is.
You know what I mean? It's just like, what? Where is this going to go?
Yeah, what are you trying to get at?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Hate it.
Well, Dale Moss arrives. He pulls up on a catamaran. And wow, everybody.
It was pretty, the visceral reaction from the women was pretty unbelievable.
I mean, let's be real here. Dale Moss is legendary.
Right.
Imagine being someone who has the charisma and vibe and looks and everything to walk on to a season of The Bachelorette and within 48 hours be so amazing that the lead quits the show to leave with you.
Yeah.
Imagine having that power. Okay?
Sure. It's too like, much power for any single man to have.
The legend that is Dale Moss. Like, everyone, we're trembling. He's kind of like a god in this universe. Like, in my books, he gives me like one of the gods that I read about. It's
kind of giving like Viking up on your shores, you know, who's returning from war. And there's just a harem that's just waiting for him. And all the other guys are like, oh, I guess I'm just going to kind of wait until he picks a girl and then I'll get one of the ones he doesn't pick. Like, he kind of just had that, like, hold my shield.
Yeah, oh, totally. and
then just like, your wife's mine now.
Dale Moss is maybe the least pressed person I've ever seen. Like, this man's, the chillness that radiates off of him is the type of guy who's like, I'm so gorgeous, it's all gonna be fine.
Yeah, I'm not worried about it.
It's fine. I'm too pretty to care.
Yeah.
And so he's always just like, nah, it's all good. He walks in, not a nerve, pulling whoever he wants.
Yeah.
Giving a little bit in conversation, but really not trying too hard because he's like, it's all good. I'm fine.
And it's funny too because it's like,
oh my gosh.
It's because so the women, first of all, I mean, the reaction was pretty unbelievable when it came to the one-on-ones, like him and Zoe. Zoe was like reading a resume of why he should choose her. Like Zoe was literally like, and I'm great at cooking, and I'm very, very responsible, and I here's some of my skill sets. Will you please love me? Like she immediately was just like reading the resume of why she should be chosen. Then he goes over to Alex, and Alex forgets the English language. She's rattled beyond belief.
And she does not seem like she gets rattled.
No. And she has a funny, quirky kind of like
high energy
way, so it's kind of silly. But like she's far beyond that. She's literally like, I don't even know what my name is. Like it was, and he looks at her like he just goes, you're very cute. Like he was almost just like he's just like looking at everyone like it's his choice.
Oh yeah.
So it's just like, you're a funny little character, aren't you? Look at all these women. They're so silly. Which will be my choice for the day? Like it had that energy. Because he's just sitting there like looking at him like, look, what are you? Are you the flavor of my pleasure today? It was just very funny to watch them all be like, ha.
No, they were
Gaston? I mean, like,
yes,
you know what I mean?
Except that is true. Yeah. Except, there was a woman who couldn't stand Gaston, and I think all the women are obsessed with Dale. So, I mean, this man, it's just like they're obsessed. Well, Kat, he gets up, by the way, and he has a 6-pack sweat outline. Yeah. He is a god.
Sure.
He's getting up and he has a sweat stain that's a 6-pack.
It's very funny.
Crazy, dude. It's crazy. Kat is losing her mind, all right? And when he ends up pulling her, he's like, yeah, by the way, he's 36. I think he's one of the older people that
37, wasn't he?
36.
Or was that, who was 37? Was it someone 37?
I don't think so. Oh. 36, which is my age. I know you're trying to, because you're 37. You're like, there's so. But I'm like, okay, that's somebody who's a little bit, you know, not 22
Yeah.
on this end. But she's 28, he's 36. And she's like, I like a man who's over 30 because they're always a little more tired. And that was iconic. That line was iconic.
So seen.
I know.
I felt so seen.
She's like, we love our men a little tired. So I want a guy over 30 because, you know, the testosterone starts to go down. They get a little sleepy.
Very funny. I mean, that's a great line.
It was so funny.
I get another Cat ITM win.
So Dale asks Kat to go.
Well, and she was smart. She goes, everyone else was pulling him. I played the opposite card. I kind of like ignored him.
She did.
And it worked.
Him.
And I was like, it's smart.
And it worked. She knows what she's doing. So he asks her on the date and they go on this catamaran, and I'm cracking up because she's like fighting illness.
Yeah.
She's trying not to puke, which is the worst feeling on the planet.
Unreal.
She's like, I'm going to get thrown into these waves.
Yeah.
I don't like this so much anymore. But family, hear me when I tell you, I believe in my soul that these two are soulmates. I believe that these two are destined for each other. And I'm going to stand by this. Even if we start getting into the next couple weeks and they get pulled apart, I will stand by the fact that I think they're soulmates, and this is why. These two, this beautiful, beautiful pair.
Yes.
And I mean no shade to either of you when I say this. I'm saying this like in love. I think they're so aesthetic based.
Yes.
Like everything, I would imagine everything in their lives is aesthetic based.
Yes.
I bet they both have spotless homes.
Yes.
Gorgeous interior designed homes. The perfect car. The perfect job. Perfectly coiffed.
Yep.
They love beauty, and they are both beautiful. And I think they get their joy from existing in beauty. And they're both like, he's the chill, like it's all good. And she gives the little bit of spice to keep life a little bit exciting. I picture these two walking into if they choose to have children together, walking into a school, like being worshipped. Like she ends up running the PTA, barely has to do anything. They're just too pretty. And they're just like, yeah, we run this school even though we barely lift a finger because they're just stunning. Like
my presence is my presence.
My presence is a present.
You know what I mean?
They give that to me.
They give wealth.
They give wealth.
They give high society.
Yes, they do.
They give
gala.
They give, she's a little scary.
A little bit.
Because you don't know how she feels about you.
Yep.
And he's intimidating because he's kind of like big presence.
Yes.
And I feel like because she would have a pet man on this show, he has all the women begging for his, they might work for each other because it's kind of like, I don't respect anyone else on the beach.
No, that's what I'm saying.
You.
I think that when they saw each other, they saw each other. It was like, oh,
it's giving king and queen energy a little bit.
It's giving major king and queen energy. Right? Yes. It's like, oh, we see each other and you know what it is? You're perfect. You're perfect. So we're perfect together. That was like, I feel like they saw each other and that was it.
I agree.
You're perfect. You're perfect. So we're perfect together.
I'm
perfect. I'm perfect. So we're perfect together.
Yeah. I agree.
Come on now.
There's something there.
There's something there.
There's something there.
There's something there. And they're making out. They're making out on this boat. They have a ridiculous montage, which I don't even know what this, what they're doing with these montages. He sprays
like
over his
it's just weird. It was very like, it took me out of it. That was a little too far. That was where I'm like, are we watching a show with actual connection, or are you like now that you're having them separate and film all this extra shit?
It's getting too experimental.
Yeah, I didn't like that.
But they're making out, and he's like, you know, she said he's a 10 kisser, and he's like, this isn't going to be the last chance I get to kiss you today. They go and get.
So they're.
I mean, and by the way, the rest of the episode and the rest of the days, he's like arms around her. They're like locked.
Yeah.
They're the king and queen of paradise.
I do feel like everyone's just afraid of them. You know what I mean? Like just too much. Like they're just a little too next level for everyone else. Yeah. It's like they respect you. Okay, real recognize real. Like. Yes. Okay. Everyone fears you. Everyone loves me.
Did you notice when he was kissing her and he put his hand right here on her neck?
Yeah.
His hand is like it covered her neck and her face and the back of her head. Yeah. He is like a god.
Leonidas.
And she's like Helen of Troy.
Exactly.
Yeah. that's the
It's
vibe.
a fear and love. To rule.
To rule.
To rule.
Okay, while Kat and Dale, the king and queen, are on their yacht. They have a game, an informational exercise, as they call out, and I'd like to call it the cardboard cutout game. It's like Love Island is here making these massive, crazy games, and Bachelor Paradise is like, we got some cardboard and some fun facts.
Yeah.
So basically, they all, without knowing who it is, they just see the form of a man and a woman, and they have the different cardboard cutouts, and they have like fun facts about them, and people get to put on a heart if they're really interested in the person, or like a no if they're definitely not interested in that person. And
again, I'm not trying to be negative. Total flub of a game, because it's not like it turned into anything.
No, it didn't turn into anything.
It was just like I like that feature. I don't like that feature, and let's never talk about it again.
Yeah.
Right? You know what I mean? Like, usually the games are supposed to kind of like either just be fun or encourage connection. But neither of those things happened.
The only thing that it resulted in was a fight.
Fantastic.
Which was actually incredible. So
the fight was amazing.
So basically, Hakeem's facts, he got 3 no's, no yeses.
I mean, just
absolute rejection. Oh, no, excuse me. He got, no, it was worse. He got 1 no. Ricky got 3 no's.
Yes.
And so Ricky comes over to him.
So the 2 losers start fighting.
And so Ricky comes over to him, and Ricky's basically like, it's worse to be in your position because people didn't even care enough to have an opinion. And he goes, yeah, you're being really vanilla.
He needed everyone to know that there's a worse loser. You know what I mean? Like, we're both at the bottom, but like technically there's a last place.
You could say I have more no's, but at least people have a reaction to me.
Yeah. Apathy is the worst reaction.
And he goes, you're vanilla. Now, Hakeem, in my opinion, so Hakeem and Ricky are friends, right? In my opinion, if I have a friend come up to me.
Are they friends or are they friendly?
I think they're friends. Like,
okay. I think they are cool with each other.
Well, Hakeem's reaction when Ricky came in, but who knows with Hakeem?
That's true.
But Hakeem, if I'm in Hakeem's position and a friendly enough friend of mine came over and was like, and I saw that they got way worse than me, and then came up to me and it was like, dude, you're worse, you're vanilla, I'd laugh. I'm like, yeah, it's funny. We're both in this shitty situation. Clearly you got more no's than me. You're kind of razzing me, saying that I'm vanilla because people don't care.
Either way, even if you didn't like it and you took it totally personal, you just go,
I'd be like, dude,
that's kind of a dick move. And then you kind of think to yourself, like, F this guy, I don't really want to hang out with him. Worst case scenario.
Hakeem made it a full campaign.
He went full 4th grade. Full 4th grade.
He went full 4th grade. I could not believe.
No, my school project's amazing. I mean, he literally
goes, you gave me your opinion without even asking.
No, and then he does what's always the best, worst move of all time, which is, let me bring this to the group.
You bring it to the group.
Like, everyone's going to feel passionately about this. Choose my side.
He's
and
like,
go,
hey,
and
everybody.
And put me on their hands and carry me like a king. Like, for him to think, first of all, that this isn't 4th grade, then to be like, I'm bringing this to the group and go, everyone, aren't you on my team? And not realize this is going to backfire. And then once it backfires and no one's engaging and everyone's like, guys, chill, to be like, no, we're not letting it rest. We are going to blow this wide open.
And I was laughing really hard. I'm like, this is absolute chaos that is being created. And this is why I needed Hakeem still on the show. Because I'm like, if we're getting upset about this and making it a thing, imagine if something actually happened. Like, what type of response we would get. And Ricky was blowing my mind too, because Ricky is in the ITMs going, oh great, now Alex is going to get a taste of me that she doesn't really like, because she's going to see this like confrontational energy, and I don't want her to think that way. And I'm upset at Hakeem for putting me in this situation.
But he wouldn't stop fighting.
I don't go, Ricky, just look at Hakeem and go, hey bro, I'm so sorry. I was just giving you a hard time. I apologize. Just let it go. But Ricky they're like arguing about flavors. They're talking about 31 flavors by the time this is over. Right. They're just
so you got chocolate here.
You got Rocky Road. You got mint chip. You got strawberry.
Yeah, it was like
vanilla.
I was lost.
I had no idea what they were arguing about.
But iconic, because you love a good, just irrational explosive.
So iconic. That's what we got from the game. We did find out that Jonathan and Alex had mutual hearts on each other.
True.
And Jess and Spencer had mutual hearts on each other. Brian and Zoe did not. In fact, Brian said no to Zoe because one of Zoe's facts was, I want a man under 5'7" or above 6'5", which made me laugh so hard because I think this is where Zoe's misunderstood. I think it's her sense of humor.
Right.
She's like, I'm trying to prove a point.
Right.
That, like,
saying, I don't discriminate against short kings and tall guys.
Whether you're tall, whether you're short, I don't care. It's not a thing to me. And it's her sense of humor. And everybody was like, well, that's weird. And it's like, okay, well, you guys aren't, I think, getting what she's trying to put out here. But the other thing that it delivered was a new arrival, because one of the cardboard cutouts that Alex, Lexi, and Jess liked was Sam. Sam from Jen's season.
Sam keeping the real thing the real thing.
Babe,
main thing.
The main thing. TM, how dare you?
And it was actually funny when he walked up and guys were like saying it. They're like, we keep the main thing. Like it was like he had his line that went ahead of him.
Some of his facts, amateur chef by night sent me.
It's called someone who cooks at their house.
I'm like, I'd love to know
anyone who cooks is an amateur chef.
Yeah, technically, I mean, we're all, even me, who can barely do anything. Amateur chef. Amateur chef. So Jesse Palmer gives Sam a date card, and Sam immediately pulls Jess. And
I was shocked by that. I just didn't see Jess being like
Sam's type.
Yeah, I don't know. I
100% did. It
like,
made
physically, yes, of course, but I'm more just talking about her vibe. I just didn't see him being like into that. So I was a little shocked by it.
I 100% got it because she's, they're got that Southern thing.
True.
And I feel like she has kind of a level of like pageant queen energy, like pageant queen who keeps it real energy. That's kind of what I get from Jess.
I get that.
And I feel like Sam is all about like appearances, and it's like obviously Jess is beautiful, but she's also got that spunky Southern thing going on. And Sam's like, this is gonna be my cowgirl to my cowboy when he comes in on a motorcycle. You've got to be fucking kidding me. That was ridiculous. He's like, she'll be on the back of my motorcycle, we'll both be wearing cowboy hats. I feel like Sam, what he gets from her energy is that like we'll be the king and queen of our small town.
Yes.
That's the energy. Yep. But Spencer's obviously, he's tripping. Yeah, because he really likes Jess a lot. And Sam ends up taking her. Jess is a little stressed out. She's like, I want to explore, but I really don't want to hurt Spencer. And I am really liking Spencer. Sam and Jess go on a date. It is a purification and rebirth ritual.
Right.
I just imagine him going in being like, purification and rebirth. You keep the main thing.
Exactly.
Ridiculous. But I swear to God, why is it that they always give these dates to the men who respect this the least?
Yeah, always.
I swear to God, every time they do a ceremonial date on BIP, they give it to the men who would respect it the least. And it was very clear to me that Jess and Sam, very uncomfortable.
Yeah. It was like Grant during the yoga. You know what I mean? It's like certain people, like there's like, I'm not into any of this shit, and they always give it to them.
You're like, why?
Yeah.
Why are we giving this to them? But they do start sponging each other down and opening up.
Yes.
Sam wonders and fears if you can only find that type of love that he wants back in the day. That sent me, Evan.
Back in the day.
Because that it's just like all that did was scream like he's the type of guy who's just like, things used to be better. Uh-huh. And I'm like, we all know what that means.
We all know what that means.
Okay. But they like kiss. They kiss.
Yeah.
And I know I'm jumping ahead. Yeah. But Jess is in between Spencer and Sam, back and forth. She ultimately chooses Spencer. I'm living for the fact that they're like giving Lexi advice together. They're kind of being mom and dad of the resort together already. She rejects Sam and Evan. This is pure karma. The fact that Sam
was gone before he was here is
the fact
pretty
that
iconic.
Sam was kicked out day one. I know you probably wanted him to stay for the drama.
I did. I just wanted. He's electric. He has a cat vibe to him, where it's like
he says
you kind of just want to see the craziness unfold, and just there's something about him that like really just brings out a rage in certain people, and I just feel like it's fun. I just thought. You couldn't get more iconic with the fact that he was kicked out first day, because this man's ego, we all have seen it, this man's ego is astronomical. And so his ego is astronomical though. So the fact that he got kicked out day one is like, it's all this does is he's already like, after Jen's season, he was like, fuck this franchise. They made me look a certain way. He was out there saying crazy shit
right? Afterwards.
yeah.
And now he's like, absolutely, they did this. Double fuck this franchise.
Right.
Because if they were being real, every woman on that beach would have wanted me.
Now, one thing I will say that I appreciate about him this time around, he went after somebody. Like, he didn't play cool.
True,
He didn't play,
true.
let me lean back and do nothing and just, I'm so hot and girls will come to me. He went right after her and pursued her.
But he also was given a date
But
card.
he was, but there was conversation before and after. I don't know. I just kind of say, I could have seen him come in and be like, I'm the hot guy here. Girls are going to be begging for me.
But it was the women had the roses this week. So, you got to remember he would do that. He would pull Jen. He'd pull Jen and he'd make out with her like crazy.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I couldn't even believe that he was there. I couldn't even believe that he was there. So we end up having, right before the rose ceremony, a couple things go down. One, we have Justin and Lexi's date.
Yeah.
They definitely seem like they could vibe.
There's something there.
But I think, like he said, he's like, I really like someone funny. And he's like, and I see you kind of becoming that way a little bit.
We could work on it.
Like we said, Lexi's amazing. But she's not a comedian.
She would be with the funny guy.
And Susie is very funny.
Yeah.
So I think, and Justin's very funny too. And they clearly have like a specific type of like sense of humor. So I don't know if as much as like, I think
aesthetically they look fantastic.
I think
together.
Justin and Lexi probably are attracted physically to each other, but I don't know if I could see that working long term.
I don't know if there's a spark there.
Just because there's maybe those elements that aren't there. But they do kiss. We see them kiss briefly in the pool. The other thing is that Ricky is like really pursuing Alex hard. And what made me laugh is that Alex was like, after seeing the Ricky Hakeem situation, I'm kind of off of it.
Big time.
And he's just like, he is holding her hands. He is declaring to her, he's just like, listen, I want to be, it's me and you, baby. Like me and you, baby. And then he finds out that she's also talking to Jonathan. And he's like, why does it have to be Jonathan? He's perfect. It was very sweet.
It was. And I loved how he cornered her and he's like, so are you going to choose me? Like he got panicky and he's just like, so where are we at? Are you going to choose me? Am I going to win? Like he couldn't play it cooler.
He couldn't. But I thought it was sweet that he was like, no, of all people, not Jonathan. Jonathan's incredible.
Yeah,
It was sweet. But shout out to Ricky. Alex was like done with Ricky, in my opinion, and was fully on Jonathan.
The kiss was good enough.
Ricky
He's like, I have one last move,
and by the way,
I know it's
he
a good one.
He goes, come here, kiss me. And you could tell she was not vibing. And the second she started kissing him, she was like, whoa.
So he's like, I got one.
And she kept going back.
Silver bullet.
And she's like, damn, that kiss was insane. So clearly Ricky can
cheers to Ricky to be like,
right.
I know I have one thing that I can pull out and when it works. He's like, I'm that good.
And he got himself back in there where she was debating.
She was a little confused, yeah.
Now she ends up talking to Jonathan.
Yeah.
And I loved how Alex was like,
called him out a little bit.
Hey, you haven't been pursuing anybody, nor have you been pursuing me. So what's that about? And he was like, oh.
She's like, no worries, give me 5 minutes. And she's like, I choose you.
It was totally like that.
It really was.
He goes, well, I just want to let you know that like I am very interested in you. So where are we at now? And she's like,
okay,
it's gonna be you.
Ricky, sorry for the last 4 days of work you just put in. Bye. And Ricky was right. Ricky's like, damn it.
Ricky was right. Ricky was right. So then we end up having the night of the rose ceremony.
Yeah.
4 men are going to be going home. 4 men right out the rip. Oh, by the way, also too, oh my goodness. I know we talked briefly with the Jeremy Bailey Kyle situation, but Jeremy and Bailey were macking the whole time.
Yeah.
Not only that, I will tell you this, their chemistry is pretty insane.
Their chemistry,
like when they were kissing, it was like, oh, I'm getting a little flushed watching this.
Yeah. I think she's very attracted to him.
Yes.
And I think he's cool with her.
Well, he said right off the rip when she walked out, he was like, Bailey, body is tea. And he was super, super physically attracted to her.
Yeah, but I don't think he likes her. You know what I mean? I think it's like
He thinks she's hot.
She's actually really into him. I'm just telling you, because at the very end, it was all about who's coming next. He said it like 3 times.
Oh, no, 100%.
So I do think there's like this. She's my ticket to continue on it.
I think he thinks she's absolutely stunning.
Yes.
But he wants to explore. Yeah. And I think that she actually is interested in him, like genuinely interested in him, because he laid it on fucking thick.
Big time.
He pulled her to the beach. They were having the moment. And then he was like, is this going to be, and he's flirty. And then they're kissing and he keeps kissing her. And I mean, it was...
One little side note I just want to say about Bailey was her one-on-one moment with Hakeem and him trying to like woo her was one of my all-time favorites. Just like, I've never seen someone so not interested so quick. To where he was just like, yeah, he's like talking to her. She's just like, yeah, totally. And we can be best friends. And
by the way,
like,
I loved too how she just was so direct right away.
Immediately, like,
in
we're buddies.
In ITMs, she goes, I am not interested.
Yeah,
like, I am
and he
not
was like,
interested.
yeah, I really have a vibe with her. I don't know if she's into it at all, though.
And then he like wrote a note and like gave it to her.
And it was like, come hang out with your boy. And she
he
had like a face that she smelled like poop.
But he like gave her that note and he ran away.
He gave it to her, ran away, and she went like this. Ugh. That's one thing I really like about Bailey is that she cannot hide the way she feels about
Bailey,
somebody.
you're gonna get it. It is how it
raw.
is. It is how it is. But I will say, Wells came with the shade for Jeremy. He's like, am I the only one thinking Bailey's way out of that guy's league? Like, he is redder than a tomato right now.
Dude,
like,
he is not an ally. You know what I mean? Like, he is it's like crazy how opinionated he is. It's like, isn't he supposed to be at least somewhat just kind of like the friends with everyone? He's like an asshole to everybody.
He totally is.
He's an asshole.
But
I mean, he's literally like...
With this one, I agreed.
Well, no, I'm saying whether you agree or not, that's just like a crazy thing to say to...
I know, to like physically
to
just
be like,
oh,
he's ugly and she's hot. It's like, whoa. Like, you could feel that, of course, but like saying that as like the bartender that's supposed to be like hanging with people... You can tell Wells doesn't give a shit anymore.
No,
he's literally like, whatever.
He does not give a shit. But yes, I do agree with you that Jeremy is, like we said earlier, he's gonna cause trouble.
He's here for the show.
He's here for the show. He's gonna cause trouble. He's gonna cause trouble. And here Kyle was like, I came here with a wedding ring. I don't just want a summer fling. I want the real thing. Like he was like ready to propose to Bailey like at the end of this, and Bailey's like, I'm gonna pass. Yeah. So rose ceremony, like I said, 6 girls, 10 guys, 4 guys are going home. Lexi gives her rose to Justin. Now, right beforehand, Lexi was tripping out and she was talking to Jess and Spencer about it. She's like, clearly Justin and Susie were really into each other. I'm doing the math here and I think their breakup was pretty recent. And I've dated guys in the past who are coming right off of relationships and still have feelings for their ex. So like she gives him a rose, but she's hesitant because of the Susie dynamic. Zoe then gives her rose to Brian. So wild to me. Kat gives her rose to Dale, obviously. Jess gives her rose to Spencer, not Sam. They kiss. Bailey gives her rose to Jeremy, not Kyle. And he says that he's just really happy to be here and he can't wait to explore. That's his ITM right after he gets a rose from Bailey. So echoing everything you're saying, just happy to be here. Get out of town, my guy. And then Alex gives her rose to Jonathan, not Ricky. So going home are Ricky, Sam, Kyle, and Hakeem. Mm-hmm. And we get a preview for what's coming up. Like we said, Susie is coming in. They're having that moment where they're kissing people behind curtains to see if they have chemistry with someone else. I think we see Alex and Dale kissing. She gets her kissing with Dale. We'll see how nervous she is. And then the Goldens arrived, and the Goldens look like they are fucking raging.
They're here to party.
Listen, it's like this. It's like when people, go out, groups of friends go out. If a mom joins you, she will rage the hardest.
Yeah, because she's got like 3 years of like not going out.
We're pent up.
Yeah, like you went out last 3 days. Like she hasn't gone out since 1999. So it's like, I need to get this popping, baby.
It's like bridesmaids when they're heading to Vegas, when the one who's the mom is like, I'm about to go
She's the one that gets on stage at Chippendales, and you're like, holy shit, you know what I mean?
The moms, and the Goldens are the same, right? You're like, hey, the Goldens have that we've been around for a minute, we're pent up, we hear there's a clock a ticking to a certain degree. I'm famous now, I'm gonna go bananas. And I mean, we're seeing body shots with the Goldens young crossover where people look like they're making out, like the young people are making out with the Goldens. I'm like, this is getting a little wild. Getting a little wild. We see Jeremy kissing Susie. Oh my gosh. And then he's like, I woke up thinking about her. Bailey's crying. And then we see fucking Sean.
Yeah.
Evan. Sean is here. The yacht boy.
How did you feel about the fact that they showed all the people during the preview? I thought that was kind of weird.
I think for the most part, all the cast is leaked.
Oh, okay.
So
I was going to say, it was just weird that they kind of showed everyone showing up. I was kind of like, oh, don't you want to kind of create like a little bit of, I wonder who's coming?
I think for the most part, everything's leaked. Got it. But we see Sean, yacht boy, who we always said is like his dad owns a golf course and he's just ratting. He's like immediately like, she's like, I got the receipts. Didn't he do that last time too? Wasn't he ratting everybody out? Never wanted to find love and I'm here to bring the receipts. I'm like,
I love it too because like,
I can't
he's the king of the rats too because it's like, he's probably not involved in that dynamic at all. Like he probably doesn't even know her barely at all. He probably got the receipts from like a friend. You know what I mean? Like it's just I love that he's just that guy.
It has probably nothing to do with him whatsoever.
Zero.
Oh no, I can't stand that guy, Evan. I mean, I won't lie to you. I am excited to have him on the sand because he is such a drama starter. He's a drama. But like that guy is a nightmare.
Yeah, he's unreal.
The guy who's like, I'm Ken.
I'm actually very excited for this season. I think it's gonna be fun. I was a little bit apprehensive at first, like coming off of the fun shows like Love Island and stuff. But like, after watching this first episode, I was actually like, I'm actually really excited.
I know, me too. I'm looking forward to it. I think
a lot of their new changes are going to be good.
The games will be interesting. Also, like having like moments with the Goldens will be wild and hectic. Yeah. We'll see what that dynamic is like. It's just all the new stuff. I'm getting used to it.
Yeah.
And we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes.
I think it's going to be fun.
But family, we love you. Tune in. Have a beautiful weekend. Tune in next week on Thursday for that Love Island finale recap. And the following week for 2 Bachelor in Paradise recaps. We'll catch up and we'll give you all that Bachelor in Paradise tea and recapping. Not next week, but the following week. All right.
Love you.
We love you all.
Bye.
Almost paradise. Paradise.
Paradise.